Welcome back, everyone. If you've been following along with us, you know the digital world isn't just shifting a bit. It feels more like a seismic transformation, doesn't it?
It really does. Fundamental.
Yeah. And today, we're diving deep into something at the very core of that.
Yeah.
The, frankly, radical evolution of online search. I mean, think about it. For decades, most of us grew up with that really familiar page,
Yeah.
the 10 blue links.
The classic survey.
Yeah, exactly. A simple gateway, felt like, to websites. But that era, the one we all knew so well, it's fundamentally changing. We are now, I think it's safe to say, firmly in the age of the answer surface.
Driven entirely by AI. That's the key bit.
Absolutely. Now, for our loyal listeners, folks who've been with us through this series, this isn't totally new ground, but it is a really crucial culmination.
Bringing it all together.
Exactly. This is our 5th deep dive, looking at how AI is profoundly impacting content, discovery, everything online, really. We started off exploring those 4 pillars of AO content success, didn't we?
Right. Focusing on making content understood, trusted, and crucially cited by AI.
Yeah, understood, trusted, cited. That was EP 1 and 2. Then we moved into the practical side of things with Answer Engine Optimization, AEO.
Which we covered in EP3, yeah. How do you actually win when the engine gives the answer directly?
And most recently, in EP4, we tackled mastering hybrid content, that blend of, human creativity and AI insight, specifically for this new answer engine era.
Which is becoming so important.
So today, we're pulling all those threads together. We're zooming out a bit to focus on the bigger picture, the emergence of AI search itself.
The overarching trend.
Right. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to give you, our listener, a vital shortcut, a way to really understand this huge paradigm shift.
Why it's happening now.
Exactly. Why it's happening, what it actually means for how you find information or how people find your information, and most importantly, what concrete, actionable steps you can take, like right now, to thrive in this brand new environment.
Because just understanding isn't quite enough, is it?
No way. We need action. And get ready for some, I think, pretty serious aha moments, especially when we dig into how AI actually processes information and how that, maybe more than anything else, really impacts your brand's visibility online.
And maybe just to add to that, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this isn't just, some technical tweak under the hood of a search engine.
Right, it's not just code.
No, it's a fundamental redefinition of how knowledge itself is consumed online, how trust is built, how it's earned, and ultimately how any brand, any business, really any creator, like many of you listening, gets discovered.
So the implications are huge.
Oh, profound implications. For anyone trying to reach an audience or, make an impact digitally, understanding this shift, it's not just an advantage anymore, is it?
No, it feels essential now.
It's rapidly becoming essential for, digital survival, let alone growth.
Yeah.
The seismic shift from 10 blue links to an answer surface.
Okay, let's rewind a bit. Cast your mind back. Picture maybe your early days online, perhaps even your very first time using a search engine.
Might take some digging for some of us.
Huh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you type something in, right?
Yeah.
Into Google, or maybe something else back then. Hit enter. And boom, there it was, this pristine list of 10, maybe 12 blue links.
Yeah, very orderly.
Right. Each one a doorway to a different website. That was it. That was the gateway to, pretty much everywhere online for a solid 2 decades.
It was predictable. You knew what you were getting.
You did. Predictable, dependable, and, looking back, almost refreshingly simple. But, as we've already kind of hinted, that world, that era.
Gone.
Yeah. It's well and truly gone.
And that's such a crucial point to really let sink in. The traditional search results page, the ACP as we knew it, it hasn't just changed a little bit. It's undergone this steady, quite fundamental transformation over, more than a decade now?
At least.
It's no longer just a directory, pointing you elsewhere. It's evolved into what we're calling this answer surface.
Right, the answer surface.
Which is this, dynamic, intelligent interface. It's actively trying to solve your query, your need, right there, directly on the page, often without you ever needing to click away.
Which is the big change.
Huge. And it wasn't one sudden moment, not a switch flipped overnight. It was really a series of pretty significant evolutionary milestones that kind of paved the way for the AI landscape we see today.
And tracing those milestones is actually, I find it incredibly revealing. because you see this clear, almost deliberate path towards giving direct answers.
Yeah, you can see the breadcrumbs.
You really can. And it started subtly enough, didn't it? For the average user, maybe you didn't even notice it happening at first,
Yeah.
but it was setting the stage. Think back to 2012.
Knowledge graph.
Exactly. Google's knowledge graph. That was arguably the first big explicit move from strings to things.
Did you unpack that a bit? Strings to things.
Yeah, sure. So before that, search engines mostly just matched keywords, right? Like strings of text you typed in. With the knowledge graph, Google started to understand entities.
Real world things.
Real world things, actual people, specific places, defined concepts, distinct events. So if you search for, I don't know, Marie Curie.
You didn't just get a list of websites mentioning her.
Right. You got that box up and on the side, right?
Uh-huh.
With her picture, her birth date, key achievements, maybe her spouse, famous quotes, all pulled together, presented concisely.
Directly on the page.
Directly on the page. It was, well, groundbreaking at the time. A huge step towards giving structured, factual answers, not just a list of potential links to maybe find the answer.
And that conceptual understanding, that ability to grasp things, that laid some really critical groundwork for what came next.
Absolutely. Because building on that, just a couple years later, 2014, we saw featured snippets appear.
Ah, yes. Position 0.
Position 0, exactly. These were even more direct. Often that little boxed answer right at the very top of the results, pulling content directly from one specific website.
Like if you asked how to tie a tie.
Yeah. You'd get the steps right there. 1, 2, 3. Maybe even a little picture. It was a super clear signal, wasn't it? Users could now get instant, relevant answers without clicking anywhere.
And that started to change behavior, didn't it? Subtly at first, maybe?
Definitely. Subtly, but powerfully. Because if the answer is right there, staring you in the face, why click? Why navigate away? It started training us, I think, to expect direct answers.
That expectation is key.
Totally. And that expectation, that whole shift in how we use search, it became even clearer, even more solidified with things like local packs.
Right, for local searches.
Yeah, by around 2015, if you search for something local like pizza near me or mechanic in London, you stop getting just 10 blue links to individual pizza places or garages.
Instead, you got the map.
The map. And that consolidated 3-pack, usually 3 businesses right there with addresses, phone numbers, maybe ratings.
Pushing all the regular organic links way down the page.
Way down, sometimes below the fold, especially on mobile. This really hammered home the idea that for certain queries, particularly those immediate, maybe transactional ones, the SRP itself was the destination.
You found what you needed right there. Directions, phone number, a quick review score.
Mission accomplished. Directly on Google. No need to visit the actual restaurant's website necessarily.
So all these changes, knowledge graph, featured snippets, local packs, over a decade plus, they weren't isolated tweaks. They were building towards something.
They really were. Cumulatively, they led us straight into what we now call the zero-click reality, which sounds dramatic, but it's measurable.
Yeah, explain that zero-click reality.
It's simple, but profound. It just means the user gets the information or the answer or the solution they need directly from the search results page without ever actually clicking through to an external website.
And this isn't just a feeling, right? There's data.
Oh yeah, solid data. It's not just anecdotal marketing chatter. The behavior change is, like, deeply measurable, statistically significant. Consider this. Way back in 2019, data showed that more than half of all Google searches ended without a single click going out to the open web.
More than half, even back then.
Even back then. Think about that. Over 50% of the time, the user's journey ended right there on Google. And this isn't some, dusty old stat we dug up.
It's held up.
Consistently. Updated studies in 2024 confirm the trend. The majority of searches still don't send traffic out to external sites. People are finding definitions, directions, quick facts right there.
And then AI summaries came along.
Yes. And here's the critical point, the real kicker, maybe the biggest aha moment for a lot of people listening. In early 2025, when an AI summary, what Google calls an AI overview, appears at the very top,
click rates drop even more.
Even further, significantly further. We're talking another major chunk of outbound traffic just disappearing. It signals this fundamental redirection of user attention.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. What does this actually mean for you, the listener? The creator, the solo entrepreneur, the lean startup?
The core implication is, well, it's profound. Attention isn't primarily flowing to your website anymore in the way it used to.
It's shifting to answers about your brand, or answers that your brand provides, directly on the search engine.
Right, so your visibility, What it means to be visible online now fundamentally means being cited by the search engine or by the AI.
Rather than just being ranked number 3 in a list of links.
Exactly. The value of getting that traditional organic click is diminishing. But the value of being the trusted, authoritative source for an AI-generated answer.
That's skyrocketing. It's a totally different game now. Capturing attention, building that crucial trust, generating qualified demand. It happens right there in the answer.
Your brand needs to be the source the AI points to, confidently, even if nobody clicks the link that might be attached.
That citation is the new visibility.
And this brings us right up to the bleeding edge of this evolution. AI overviews.
The synthesized answers at the top.
Yeah, those comprehensive summaries that Google and, other engines are increasingly generating. Right at the top of the SRP, they pull info from multiple sources, blend it, synthesize it.
Into a concise, direct answer. Often conversational, too.
It's not just a little snippet anymore. It's a full-blown AI-generated summary.
And we're seeing these pop up more and more, aren't we? It's not just a rare occurrence.
No, the prevalence is growing rapidly. They're appearing on, a meaningful and expanding share of searches. And importantly, it's not just for, simple informational queries like, what is gravity?
Right, it's broader now.
Much broader, growing rapidly across different search intents, including commercial searches, local searches too. Some analyses looking at millions of keywords showed AI overviews in, roughly 13% of U.S. desktop searches by March 2025.
And that was double January's level.
Double, just in a couple months. And then you have Pew's research, looking at it from the user side, tracking actual behavior. They put it even higher. Around 18% of searches saw an AI overview in March 2025.
So whether it's 13% or 18%.
Or maybe even higher by the time people hear this.
Right. What's fascinating here, and definitely a key takeaway, is that a sizable and growing slice of discovery online is now mediated by AI.
It's not a niche feature anymore.
Not at all. It's quickly becoming a significant part of how mainstream users find information. The implications for your visibility, your brand's reach, they're immediate and huge.
And that leads directly to, the new critical visibility metric for your brand, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Your ability to get found, to be discovered, now overwhelmingly depends on how well large language models, LLMs, understand and cite you.
It's not primarily about traditional SEO factors in the same way, like backlinks, keyword density.
Not in the same way, no. Those things might still play a role, but the core focus shifts. It's about being the definitive, trusted source for the AI itself. The source it feels confident quoting or paraphrasing.
Which raises that fundamental question for everyone listening, every creator, every marketer. How do you prepare for this?
Yeah.
This completely new way of being discovered.
How do you make sure your brand isn't just present, but actually preferred by the AI so that you become, the first name AI recommends? 2, navigating the new landscape. Generative Engine Optimization, GEO.
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do we do that? And it leads us straight into the core new discipline for this AI-first world, Generative Engine Optimization, GEO.
GEO.
We've talked about answer engine optimization, AEO, and past deep dives, focusing on getting those direct answers. GEO feels like, it takes that and expands it, right, to cover the whole generative AI landscape.
Precisely. It acknowledges that AI isn't just answering based on existing text anymore. It's generating, it's synthesizing, it's even reasoning to some extent.
So GEO is, how would you define it?
I'd define GEO as the proactive, strategic discipline of preparing your content, all your digital assets, really so that they're likely to be selected, properly synthesized, and accurately cited by a whole range of AI systems.
Not just Google's AI overviews.
No, much broader. We're talking the big models people use directly. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, even others like Grok, DeepSeek. And of course, those integrated AI features within search, like AI overviews.
So it's a proactive approach.
Yeah.
Ongoing.
Absolutely. To ensure AI doesn't just find your content, but truly understands it with absolute clarity, and then prioritizes it because it sees it as authoritative and trustworthy.
Okay, so what does GEO actually favor? Traditional SEO had its playbook keywords, links, technical stuff. What's the GEO playbook look like?
Yeah, the focus shifts. We're moving away from just stuffing keywords in or relying on technical tricks that might frankly confuse or even mislead an AI. GEO champions more foundational principles.
Like what?
Things like semantic clarity, making the meaning absolutely unambiguous, structured facts, presenting information in a way machines can easily parse, and robust credibility signals, proving your authority and trustworthiness.
So it's about making content inherently understandable and trustworthy to machines first.
Exactly. Which then naturally translates into trust for the human users when the AI presents your information. Think about it. If the AI easily and accurately grasps what you're saying, it's far more likely to represent it correctly and confidently to the user.
Okay, practically then, what does that think list look like for content? If you're a creator, a blogger, running an e-commerce site, a SaaS company, what should you actually be doing?
Right, let's get specific. It means crafting really tight, unambiguous definitions for your key terms, your core concepts.
Like literally defining things clearly.
Literally. It means making sure your facts are not just accurate, but also scannable, easily extractable for a machine. It involves using proper entity markup, we'll definitely dig into that more, to explicitly tell AI what your content is about.
Okay.
It means providing clear, undeniable evidence for any claims you make, and using helpful media text, images, charts, video, but ensuring it's easy for machines to parse.
Yeah.
Giving images good alt text, providing transcripts for audio video.
And crucially, it still needs to be good for humans, too.
Absolutely critical. All of this structure and clarity for machines also needs to make the information easy for humans to understand and trust when the AI surfaces it. This is where the how-to really starts to take shape for you, the listener. It's a clear roadmap for the kind of content to produce and, just as importantly, how to structure it.
It sounds like a lot of sort of tactical elements, which is great.
Yeah.
But it also feels like a big shift in thinking. There must be a strategic layer underneath all this, right? Something tying it together.
There is, and that's where relevance engineering comes in.
Relevance engineering. Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, under the hood, GEO really depends heavily on relevance engineering. And it's not like one single skill set or department. It's deeply multidisciplinary.
Okay.
It blends insights from traditional information retrieval science, UX user experience design, definitely content strategy at a high level, and even a modern digital PR, building authority.
So what's the goal?
The overarching goal is systematic. It's about systematically earning placement and prominence on any search surface, which today increasingly means the answers generated by LLMs. It's about building this holistic, durable digital authority that's recognized by both humans and machines.
So how do you actually do relevance engineering? What are the core activities? It sounds quite strategic, quite high level.
At its heart, it's about meticulously mapping two things: your digital identity and your content to the way AI models fundamentally see and understand the world.
Okay, mapping. How?
It involves, first, meticulously mapping the entities you represent. That could be your specific brand name, your unique products or services, your key people, the experts on your team maybe, or the core concepts and topics you specialize in. You need to define these explicitly for the AI.
Got it. Define the entities. What's next?
Then you identify the specific questions, the problems, the user prompts where you should be the definitive source, where you want to win in the eyes of the AI. Become the unquestionable authority for those queries.
Okay, map entities, identify target questions.
And finally, you strategically gather and present the proofs. The undeniable evidence data, citations, testimonials, credentials that make you the most credible, the most trustworthy source for those specific answers.
So it's about becoming the go-to source for the AI.
Exactly, the undisputed authority. So when the AI synthesizes an answer for those key questions, your brand is the primary preferred reference it uses. It's a shift from just, showing up somewhere in the results to actually being the definitive answer.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, something else we hear buzzing around a lot is RAG. R-A-G. Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Yes, RAG,
Yeah.
crucial concept.
It pops up everywhere, doesn't it? Especially with enterprise AI, but even consumer stuff now. For our listeners who might be seeing this term maybe just in headlines, why is RAG so important in this whole AI search picture? What problem is it actually solving for these big AI models?
It's a really critical piece of the puzzle and, yeah, often a source of confusion.
Yep.
So most enterprise LLM applications now, and increasingly the public ones too, use Retrieval Augmented Generation, or R. The simplest way to think about it, imagine RAG as like an incredibly smart, super efficient research assistant for the AI.
Okay, a research institute.
Yeah. So instead of the main large language model just trying to guess or sometimes hallucinate answers based only on its massive but very general training data.
Which can lead to errors.
Exactly. Big errors sometimes. RAG connects that model to an external trusted library, a library of specific, verifiable documents and data. Often this could be your own company's content, your product specs, your knowledge base.
Oh, okay. So it pulls from trusted sources.
Precisely. This makes sure the answers the AI generates are not just, fluent and creative, but also rigorously grounded in specific, verifiable facts. And crucially, it makes those answers citable.
Citable, meaning
The AI can point back, it can show its work, basically. It can say, I got this information from this specific document, this source. That builds transparency, builds user trust. It directly combats that hallucination problem by giving the AI a solid, factual basis for what it says.
okay, that's clear. So if I'm a content creator, maybe running a small business, how does knowing about RAG actually influence my content strategy? If RAG is pulling from external documents, what should I be doing differently with my documents, my content?
The connection is direct, it's powerful, and honestly, this is another one of those aha moments for content, folks.
Okay.
When your content is well-structured and machine-readable, meaning it's clearly organized, uses consistent terms broken into logical, defined chunks, it's far, far more likely to be successfully retrieved and accurately processed by these RAG pipelines.
So structure is key for RA.
Absolutely. If your information is clearly defined, think clear headings, bullet points, tables, consistent product IDs, whatever the AI system using RAG can pull exactly what it needs without misinterpreting it, without having to guess what a paragraph is really about.
And the benefit.
The benefit is your content is significantly more likely to be included accurately in those valuable AI-generated answers, whether that's Google's AI overview or a company's internal chatbot using RAG or any other LLM app leaning on external knowledge.
So my content becomes the reliable source material.
Exactly. Your well-structured content becomes like the clean, reliable highway for accurate information to flow right into the AI's brain, letting it use your stuff as a trusted source of truth. 3. AI as an agent. Beyond answering to doing.
Okay, that's a brilliant explanation of how content gets found, understood, cited by AI, moving us beyond just ranking. But there's an even more fascinating twist coming, isn't there? Something potentially even more transformative.
Yeah, the next turn.
AI models aren't just stopping at answering questions. They're starting to move towards actively doing things.
From answering to acting, yeah.
It's a shift from being like a passive knowledge source to being an active task-completing agent. And this is where the implications for, brand visibility, customer journeys, they get really profound, I think.
This is a truly significant development. It really marks a fundamental leap in what AI can do. We're seeing the rapid rise of what are called agent frameworks.
Agent frameworks, okay.
These frameworks basically allow multiple AI agents, sometimes specialized ones, to work together. They can break down complex multi-step tasks, things humans do routinely, into smaller, manageable pieces.
And then what?
Well, they can communicate with each other. They can leverage various digital tools, and a tool could be anything from operating a web browser like a human would, to interacting with specific software APIs, or even querying internal company databases.
And they take action.
Yeah, they take actions to complete those tasks, often end-to-end, sometimes without any human intervention once they're set off.
Wow. Okay, could you give us some concrete examples? What does it actually look like for an AI to do something as an agent? How might this affect different types of businesses, different content creators?
Sure, let's think through a few scenarios. So, beyond just, say, telling you flight prices,
Right.
imagine an AI agent that can then actually go to the airline's booking site, navigate it, fill in your passenger details, compare seat options across maybe 2 or 3 airlines,
And book the flight.
and maybe even make the reservation, handle the payment through an API, and send you the confirmation email, all triggered by your initial request.
Okay, that's a clear consumer example. What about e-commerce?
In e-commerce, maybe an agent that doesn't just list product features from different sites, but actively compares detailed specs, reads user reviews from multiple sources, analyzes the sentiment in those reviews, finds and applies valid discount codes, and then presents you with a synthesized, personalized recommendation based on your stated priorities, or potentially even as the best option to your cart or completes the purchase.
Okay, that's powerful. Does it extend beyond consumer stuff, like B2B?
Oh, absolutely. The implications are huge there, too. Consider maybe an AI agent for a sales team. It could sift through hundreds of pages of your company's internal policy documents, extract the specific compliance rules needed for a new client contract in, say, a regulated industry. Cross-reference those rules with deals you've done before, maybe flag potential risks based on past issues, and even draft an initial version of the legal agreement for human review.
That saves incredible amounts of time.
Exactly. Or think about healthcare. Maybe a doctor's AI assistant. It could research a patient's specific condition, pull the absolute latest clinical trial data from various published medical journals, compare different established treatment protocols based on effectiveness and side effects.
And even simulate outcomes.
Potentially, yeah. Simulate likely patient outcomes based on that aggregated data, all by reading and acting upon vast amounts of structured medical content. These agents interact with digital environments much like we do, but with incredible speed, consistency, and scale.
So our content, our website, our data,
Yeah.
it becomes like the operating manual for these agents.
It's a great way to put it, yes.
So, okay, if AI is increasingly acting as this agent, researching, comparing, summarizing, even acting for us, what are the direct consequences for our content? And for those traditional website clicks we've obsessed over for so long?
Well, the consequence is exactly what you'd expect, and it's another one of those really critical aha moments that just fundamentally reshapes the customer journey.
Which is?
It means an increasing number, maybe eventually the majority, of user journeys will start and end without a traditional click ever happening, without the user ever landing on your website's homepage or product page in the way we think of it now.
Because the agent does the work.
Because the agent does the work. As they get more sophisticated, they'll do the research, the comparison, the synthesis, maybe even take the action, all on behalf of the user, often entirely within the AI's own interface or through those direct API connections.
So your brand's content, it has to be ready for this world where the user might actually be an AI agent, not just a person browsing.
That's the absolute mandate here. Unequivocally clear. Your content must be ready for agents that act as well as users who read.
Wow. Agents that act, users that read.
It's not just about making your stuff understandable for a human who might glance at an AI summary anymore. It's about making it digestible, unambiguous, structured, and frankly, actionable for an AI agent. An agent that might be completing a critical task, or making a purchasing decision, or forming a recommendation based entirely on the information it gets from your content.
So this goes way beyond just search visibility.
Way beyond. It's about decision-making, automated decision-making at a much deeper level. And it raises this really important question for all of us, for every content creator, every marketer listening.
Which is?
If an AI agent is going to be the one doing the research, comparing the options, making the recommendation, maybe even completing the transaction, how does your content ensure it gets chosen?
Yeah.
That it's accurately represented, that it's acted upon correctly in that automated process?
Are you giving it the right stuff?
Exactly. Are you providing the precise, the verifiable, the structured data that an agent needs to confidently act on your behalf? Ensuring compliance, ensuring accuracy, ensuring your brand is the preferred choice? It really demands a profound rethink of how we create, structure, and share our content. Shifting from just thinking about human consumption to enabling direct utility by these intelligent systems. 4V. What marketers should do now? 5 actionable steps.
Okay, so wow, this is all incredibly powerful. And let's be honest, maybe a little intimidating for some.
It can feel like a lot, yeah.
The shift from links to answers, the rise of GEO, now these AI agents doing things.
Yeah.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a creator, a solo entrepreneur, maybe running a lean startup like many in our audience. Limited resources, right?
Our time and budget are always constraints.
So the big question, the one probably everyone's thinking right now is, okay, great. What do I actually do about this? What are the concrete, actionable steps we should be taking right now to, navigate and hopefully thrive in this new landscape?
The so what
Yeah,
question.
exactly. I think we can break it down into 5 really crucial areas. And the first one, for me, it feels like it has to be a fundamental mindset shift. We need to design for answers, not just rankings.
That's absolutely the starting point, nail on the head. For years, right, our optimization work was mostly focused on getting a specific keyword, a specific page to rank high on that list of blue links, hoping for the click.
Right, chasing the position.
Chasing the position. Now, the primary goal shifts. It's about providing the answer itself. Directly, clearly, efficiently, which means writing for what we sometimes call the question, claim, proof pattern.
Question, claim, proof. Okay, explain that.
So when an AI is trying to generate an answer, it essentially needs 3 things. It needs to understand the specific question being asked, the user's intent. It needs to understand what assertion, what claim your content is making as the answer. And then, critically, it needs to see the proof, The undeniable evidence, the data, the citation that backs up your claim.
Makes sense. So how does that translate into actual content creation?
Practically, it means things like leading your content with really clear, plain English definitions, especially for common query types like what is X or how does Y work? Answer the question directly up front.
Okay, clear definitions.
Then support those answers, those claims, with robust, undeniable stats. Clear citations back to your sources or authoritative third-party sources build that credibility right in.
Stats and citations. Got it.
And, crucially, incorporate content elements that are inherently structured and just dead simple for machines to pull out and use. Think concise tables for comparing data or features, numbered steps for any how-to guide, clear pros and cons lists for evaluations, simple checklists.
Why those formats specifically?
Because they are trivial for machines to excerpt. They're already structured. The AI doesn't have to guess where one point ends and the next begins. It makes your content a prime candidate to be included directly in an AI overview or answer.
Can you give an example, like for an e-commerce brand?
Sure. Say you sell, I don't know, coffee makers. Instead of just having one long, rambling product description page, have a clear section maybe titled, "What is the Model X coffee maker?" Followed immediately by key features, maybe in a bulleted list, then benefits, perhaps in a pros-cons table, comparing it to another model.
So it's instantly consumable by the AI.
Instantly consumable, structured, clear, easy to pull from. That's designing for answers.
Okay, powerful shift. Actionable step number 2. You mentioned entities earlier. You said, build your entity graph.
Yeah.
This one, honestly, this is where I think it gets really fascinating because it's about giving the AI the full picture, right? The rich, interconnected view of your brand, not just isolated keywords.
Exactly. This is all about clarifying explicitly who you are, what you are, where you are in this vast digital universe, and doing it consistently, using consistent names, unique identifiers where possible, and clearly defining the relationships between all the parts of your brand.
So, like my brand's digital DNA.
That's a perfect analogy. Your entity graph is like your brand's digital DNA. It's this comprehensive, interconnected map showing everything you are, your company itself, your specific products or services, your key people, maybe the core concepts or values you stand for. It's how AI truly understands your identity, not just as keywords, but as this web of relationships. And that builds trust, it builds authority.
Okay, so how do we actually build this entity graph practically?
The main tool here is leveraging schema.org markup. It's like adding descriptive labels to your website code that machines can easily read.
Schema.org.
Right.
So using, for instance, organization schema on your main site to define your official company name, your address, your logo, links to your social profiles, using product schema for every single one of your offerings, detailing their features, prices, availability, linking to reviews.
What about content? Absolutely. Using FAQ schema for frequently asked questions sections, explicitly marking up the question and the answer. Using how-to schema for step-by-step guides. Very important. Using person schema for author bios, especially linking them to credentials or other profiles that prove their expertise. And review schema for customer testimonials.
So it's about explicitly labeling everything.
Explicitly labeling, using consistent identifiers like internal product SKUs or ISBNs for books, and also including authoritative links, both from your site to other trusted entities like citing a research paper and ensuring trusted external sites link to you, reinforcing your identity and expertise.
So for, say, a solo entrepreneur listening, maybe running an online course, what does this mean for them?
For them, it means making sure their course platform profile, their personal website bio, their social media profiles, maybe guest posts they've written, they all use the same name consistently. They link back to a central hub, maybe their main website, and they use person schema on their bio, course schema for their offering. It's about telling AI clearly and consistently, this is me, this is my area of expertise, here's my course.
So AI can stitch together that coherent, trustworthy profile?
Exactly, making you a much more reliable source in its eyes.
Okay, step 3 follows logically. Publish in structured, reusable formats. This feels like it's all about making content super easy for machines to grab, understand, and then maybe repurpose without messing it up.
Ties right back to RA, yeah.
Absolutely, spot on. This means thinking modularly about your content, atomically almost, instead of just creating one massive long-form piece, like a huge white paper or an ultimate guide.
Which can be great for humans sometimes. Right, they have their place. But also consider pairing those comprehensive pieces with shorter, more atomic content types. Think dedicated fact sheets on specific topics, standalone FAQ pages or sections answering common questions, bite-sized data blocks presenting key statistics clearly, maybe even building a glossary of terms for your industry.
So providing the same core info, but in different optimized formats.
Exactly. Each format tailored for different consumption methods, whether it's a human quickly scanning a featured snippet or an AI needing to extract one single precise fact for a RAG pipeline.
What about multimedia? Images, video, audio.
Crucial. Don't just upload a video and hope for the best. Provide meaningful alt text for every single image describing what it shows. Provide full, accurate transcripts for all your audio content, like this deep dive. Offer closed captions, ideally with timestamps for all your video content.
Making the visual and audio machine readable, too.
Precisely. So it becomes discoverable, understandable, and citable by AI. The core principle here really is think modular. The smaller the chunk of information and the more clearly defined and self-contained it is within your content structure, the easier it is for an AI to retrieve it accurately, understand it precisely, and cite it confidently without misinterpretation or grabbing too much context.
Which boosts its chances of being used in an AI answer.
Dramatically boosts its chances, because the AI doesn't have to guess where the relevant bit starts or ends, or what it actually means.
Okay, step 4. This one feels like maybe the biggest mental hurdle for traditional marketers. Measure AI visibility, not just sessions. This is a fundamental rewrite of how we define success, isn't it? A huge aha moment. We can't just look at website clicks anymore.
We absolutely cannot. In this new landscape, if you're optimizing solely for getting to page 1 and driving website traffic, you're missing a huge and growing part of the picture. It's just not sufficient anymore to gauge your brand's real digital influence.
So what should we be measuring?
You absolutely need to broaden your metrics. Widen the aperture to reflect the zero-click reality we talked about. Start tracking where your brand is actually being cited by the various AI systems people are using.
Like which AIs are mentioning us?
Yeah, is it ChatGPT? Is it Gemini? Is it showing up in Google AI overviews? Maybe Perplexity? You need tools or methods to monitor this. Then try to understand which specific prompts or questions you seem to be winning.
Winning, meaning?
Meaning your content, your brand, is used as a primary source for the AI's generated answer for that prompt. And conversely, which prompts are you losing where maybe a competitor is cited instead?
Highlighting content gaps.
Exactly. And also track how often the AI actually links back to you, even if it's not a click that lands on your homepage. It might be a citation link within the AI overview text, or just a mention of your brand name as a source. These are all signals of visibility and authority in the AI's eyes.
So the new goal isn't just ranking position.
The new optimization goal is really your win rate in AI answers for your target prompts. That paints a far more accurate, far more comprehensive picture of your brand's actual influence now. How much is it contributing to the collective knowledge graph these AIs are building?
So for a startup listening, they need to look beyond Google Analytics.
Way beyond. They need to track mentions, maybe set up alerts, use specialized tools to see every time their brand name, their product, their key concepts get surfaced in an AI summary. It helps you understand, are we becoming that authoritative voice? Are we the brand the AI recommends?
Okay. And the 5th and final actionable step, which seems to tie everything back to trust and accuracy, create RAG-ready knowledge. This connects right back to our chat about retrieval augmented generation, RAG, and its job in fighting AI hallucinations.
Precisely. This step is all about deliberately establishing your content as the single most reliable source of truth for AI systems, especially when they use R. You need to host what we often call canonical documents.
Canonical documents, meaning
These are your official, definitive statements of fact. Your detailed, accurate product specifications, your precise, up-to-date pricing guides, your comprehensive comparison documents, like this versus that, your thorough case studies showing results, your official company policies.
So not just blog posts or opinions.
No, these are the foundational facts about your brand and offerings, and these documents absolutely must have clear provenance.
Provenance.
Meaning their origin and authority are crystal clear, transparent, undeniable. Who wrote it? When was it last updated? Is it the official version? And they need a defined update cadence, so AI knows how fresh, how current the information is. You can't have outdated specs floating around.
And the key is making them safe for retrieval.
Safe for retrieval and accurate when quoted. That's critical. If your product specs are buried deep inside some sprawling, poorly formatted PDF, an AI using RGRAI probably won't be able to pull them out cleanly or accurately for a comparison query.
Or if policies are vague.
Exactly. If your customer service policies are vague, or maybe even contradictory across different documents, an AI might misinterpret them, and then it could spread misinformation about your brand when answering a user query.
So the goal is clean, structured, unambiguous source material.
Yes. By making these foundational canonical documents clean, well-structured, unambiguous, and easily accessible to machine readers, you essentially ensure that when an AI acts as an agent or generates an answer using RAG, it's drawing from the most reliable, most authoritative information directly from your brand.
It's how you control your narrative in this AI-first world.
It is absolutely how you maintain control and ensure accuracy when machines are the intermediaries, operationalizing AI search success.
Okay, these 5 steps: design for answers, build the entity graph, structured formats, measure AI visibility, create already knowledge. They're incredibly powerful. Conceptually, they make total sense.
Yeah.
But let's be real again. For many of our listeners, the creators, the solo entrepreneurs, the lean startups, we focus on implementing all of this consistently. It can sound like a massive undertaking.
It definitely can seem daunting.
Building that entity graph from the ground up, trying to operationalize relevance engineering across all your content, creating and maintaining a comprehensive R-ready knowledge base. It just sounds like a lot to manage, especially if you don't have a big, dedicated team or budget.
That's a really crucial point, and it's often where the wheels fall off, right? It's one thing to understand these principles, maybe intellectually agree with them. It's another thing entirely to put them into consistent practice week after week, especially with limited resources.
So how can this be operationalized efficiently? How do we turn these vital principles into practical, scalable processes that don't just completely overwhelm a small team or a single person?
And that's where technology, thoughtfully applied, can really bridge that gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it systematically. The key is finding systems or platforms designed specifically for this new AI-first reality. Things that can automate and streamline these new disciplines.
So like turning the strategic goals into machine executable tasks.
Essentially, yes. Think about an AI marketing operating system, for instance, something built for this era. It can help tremendously by taking over many of these complex, often repetitive tasks involved in GEO and relevance engineering.
Okay, let's explore that. How might such a system help operationalize these strategies we've outlined? Let's start with GEO and AEO automation, getting that AI-optimized content created. How would a system help there?
Well, a robust system could take your strategic intent, like you've identified your target answer territory, the core claims you want to own, and it could translate that directly into machine-readable content outlines, maybe even generate drafts of fully structured content.
Generating outlines and drafts.
Yeah. Instead of you manually trying to structure every FAQ, every how-to block, every comparison table from scratch, the system could automatically generate these elements, complete with those tight definitions, the scannable facts, the necessary citations, purpose-built from the get-go to be easily extracted and cited by AI engines and AI overviews.
So it pre-formats the information for AI.
Exactly. It vastly accelerates your content production while ensuring that crucial AI readiness is baked in from the start.
Okay, what about operationalizing relevance engineering? It sounded pretty complex, multidisciplinary. How could a system make that more manageable for a small team?
A system could help you systematically map out your answer territory. Remember that. Identifying all the prompts, the questions, the informational needs where your brand absolutely should be the definitive authority.
Okay, mapping the territory.
But then the system could go a step further. It could help generate the actual content and gather the necessary evidence, the claims, the proofs, the references, specifically aligned to the questions AI is actually seeing from users in that territory.
So it ensures content directly targets AI queries.
Right. It helps ensure every piece of content you create is laser-focused on addressing a potential AI query, maximizing your chances of being chosen as the authoritative source for that specific need. It brings precision to your content strategy, driven by how AI understands user intent.
Now, building that comprehensive entity graph, implementing schema.org across everything, that sounded like a huge technical lift. Potentially intimidating for a small business without deep tech expertise. How does a system help there?
Yeah, this is truly where automation becomes critical if you want to do it at scale and do it right. A dedicated system can provide automatic schema.org markup for all those key entity types we discussed: organization, product, FAQ, how-to, person review, etc.
So it writes the schema code.
It can, yes. But just as importantly, it ensures consistency. Consistent IDs, consistent linkages across all your digital properties, website, blog, product pages, maybe even offsite profiles. It's this consistency that's paramount for AI to build that complete, unambiguous understanding of your brand's identity and its relationships.
making you trusted and citable.
Exactly. It makes you understood, trusted, and highly citable by AI models. It helps create that unified, machine-readable digital identity that AI can confidently rely on without you personally needing to become a schema markup guru overnight.
Okay, then the Araj-ready knowledge base. How does a system simplify centralizing and preparing all that critical canonical documentation, especially keeping it accurate, structured, with clear provenance?
A good system would provide a centralized, highly structured repository, a single place for all those critical canonical documents, your detailed product docs, your in-depth case studies, your official policies, your regular
A
updates.
central source of truth.
The central source of truth, exactly. But the system would also help ensure these documents are formatted correctly in those clean, easily chunked modules we talked about. With clear attribution, who owns this doc, and version control, this is the latest, this makes them ideal for those RA retrieval pipelines used by LLMs everywhere, both on the public web and maybe within internal enterprise AI tools you might use down the line.
So the system keeps the source data pristine for AI.
Pristine, easily accessible, and unequivocally reliable, so the AI can use it without errors or misinterpretation.
And finally, tracking that AI visibility. This requires totally new metrics, new ways of looking at performance beyond website visits. How does a system deliver those specific insights?
Yeah, you can't just rely on Google Analytics for this. A system designed for this era would need to provide dedicated AI visibility analytics.
Where would that track?
It would track not just your traditional traffic, but specifically where AI systems like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and Google AI overviews are referencing your brand.
Right.
It would monitor which specific prompts you're winning, where you're cited as the source, and just as importantly, which ones you're losing.
Showing you where the gaps are?
Precisely. Highlighting critical content gaps you need to close, or maybe areas where your existing content isn't structured well enough to be picked up. This gives you deep, actionable insights into your actual performance in the AI ecosystem. It lets you optimize your strategy beyond old-school SEO and truly measure your brand's influence in this new knowledge landscape.
So, putting it all together, a system like this essentially helps ensure, right, zero-click resilience.
That's the great term for it, yeah.
Meaning, even if the user journey starts and ends on the search results page or inside an AI chat window, your brand is still the authoritative source that gets cited. So you still capture that crucial trust, that consideration, that qualified demand, even without the direct click.
That is the core promise, the core goal. It's about ensuring your brand remains absolutely central to the discovery process, even as the fundamental mechanics of discovery are shifting dramatically from clicks to citations.
And it helps ensure you don't just get discovered, but you become, as the AI CMO show often puts it, the first name AI recommends.
That's the ideal outcome, absolutely. But it's important to remember, this isn't just about adopting new tools or software, is it?
Good point. What do you mean?
While systems can automate and operationalize, the underlying principles are what matter most. The tools just help you put those principles, generative engine optimization, relevance engineering, structured data, entity focus, into consistent, scalable practice. They allow even lean teams, creators, startups to actually compete effectively.
So it raises a bigger question for listeners.
I think it does. It raises an important question for every organization, every creator listening. Are you actively building your internal processes, your content strategies, your measurement frameworks to reflect these new external realities? Or are you still operating based on maybe outdated assumptions about how users find information, how they consume it, and how they make decisions in an increasingly AI-first world? Outro.
Wow. Okay, so let's try and bring all of this together as we wrap up. The message, I think, is incredibly clear, and the transformation is, well, it's undeniable, isn't it?
It really is.
AI search isn't some, far-off concept we need to prepare for eventually. It is here, right now. And it's rapidly accelerating that long evolution we saw the search results page undergoing from just being a simple list of links to becoming this dynamic interactive answer surface.
We've moved beyond the era of just optimizing for a keyword ranking.
Definitely. We've moved into this profound imperative, the need to become the trusted, authoritative source for the answers AI generates.
And the crucial takeaway from all of this for anyone listening who wants to remain visible, remain impactful online, it's this. The marketers, the creators, the brands who proactively optimize for machine understanding.
Machine understanding, key phrase.
Yeah, focusing on those clearly defined entities, that highly structured information, that verifiable provenance and credibility, those are the ones AI will actively choose to cite.
That's the core of GEO, of relevance engineering.
It is the very essence of it.
Yeah.
It's about making your brand not just, findable in a list, but truly trusted, confidently recommended, and directly utilized by what are becoming the most powerful information gatekeepers of our time.
It's definitely an exciting time. Maybe a little challenging too, but definitely exciting. This isn't just about staying competitive in the old sense. It feels like it's about fundamentally redefining what it means to be discoverable, to be influential online.
It really is. And maybe just one final thought to leave everyone with, connecting this to the absolute bigger picture.
Yeah.
The emergence of AI search, this whole shift we've discussed. It isn't just about a new, maybe more efficient way to find information online. It's actually a fundamental shift in what it means to know something online, and maybe more importantly, what it means to trust information online.
How so?
Well, when an AI synthesizes answers, when it draws from multiple sources and presents information with this air of authority, it inherently implies a certain level of truth, a level of reliability, right?
Yeah. Yeah, people tend to trust the output.
They do. So the really deep question for you to ponder is, what does it mean for your brand, your voice, your expertise to become not just, a discoverable link someone might click, but a fundamental, trusted piece of the world's rapidly growing collective AI knowledge?
Wow. Becoming part of AI's knowledge.
How will you ensure that your brand's unique perspective, your factual information, your authority is not only heard in this new ecosystem, but is consistently relied upon by these systems as an undeniable source of truth, making you truly foundational to how AI understands and explains the world related to your field?
That is a provocative thought to end on. How do you become foundational knowledge for AI?
It's a question worth some deep and, I'd say, immediate reflection for all of us navigating this new era.